afternoon, everybody. My name is Kieran Quilty, and I lead our small business and startup efforts across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I've been with Facebook for about 6 years. I just love Dubai. So when my team here in Dubai said, you gotta come here, you gotta check out the tech scene, there's a load of really cool startups happening in the region, I jumped on the plane. First time I was here was about 11 years ago. It was our honeymoon. I've been back about 6 or 7 times, and every time I come to Dubai, I can just never get over how fast this city moves. And the speed at which this city moves, when you look at great conferences like this, speed is the one word I think of when I think about a mobile world, and when I think about building a business in a mobile world. Because more than anything else, everything that's happening at mobile is fast. Recently, Oxford Dictionary in the UK announced the word of the year in 2015 as a smiley face, my favorite smiley face, the really big one with the big tears. How we're communicating today is changing forever, and it's because of mobile. The shift to mobile has happened. For entrepreneurs, for business owners, that presents a great opportunity, but it's also different. And it's different to how you need to communicate on mobile than necessarily what you're used to on TV, press, or radio. So today I thought I'd talk about 3 major trends that we see on mobile, and then what we think that means for you as a business owner. First, mobile shift has happened. It is incredible how much we love our mobile devices. There's just under 3 billion people in the world with access to the internet, yet there's over 7 billion mobile subscriptions. The average person in the world will pick up their mobile device about 200 times a day. It is the very first and last thing that we do. We love it. It took TV 67 years to reach 1 billion people. Smartphones did it in 5. And it's happening here and happening everywhere. And that brings seismic shifts, which are happening, which are irreversible. Towards the end of 2011 in the US, a fundamental shift happened. There's now more time spent on digital than any other medium out there. The green line behind me is radio. Blue line is TV. And you can see the red line is digital. And what's underneath the red line is, of course, mobile. Mobile is driving the massive rise in time that people are spending on digital devices versus any other option. That happened in the UK in 2014. It will happen here, and it's happening everywhere. And therefore, that's changing how businesses need to think about where to invest money to make sure they reach people where they are. So the big question we get asked is, what are people doing on mobile? And the answer is really simple. It's one word, it's video. Cisco forecast by the end of 2019, more than 80% of the entire global internet traffic will be driven by video from a mobile device. It is staggering how much we love to create, share, and consume video on our personal mobile devices. Sight, sound, and motion is and has always been the great storytelling form for entrepreneurs, businesses large and small, to tell their story and do more business. And that's what's playing out on mobile devices here in this region and all over the world. We used to talk about there's more than 8 billion video views in the world. We just announced a new stat. There's actually more than 100 million hours of video every day on Facebook. Staggering. And this region is ahead of the global average. Here, more than anywhere else in the world, people love to create, consume, and share video. Vast majority being driven by a mobile device. So for a business, you've got sight, sound, and motion, all the powerful capability of video, with all the highly targeting capability of mobile, to put the story into the palm of your customer's hand, irrespective of where they are. Here in Dubai, or whether you're exporting your product or service anywhere in the world. 2, mobile is different. It is naturally a different canvas. It is smaller, it is more personal. Therefore, we see a massive shift in the type of stories being told on mobile, and a massive shift from text to visual-based communication. This can be best described when you think about the mobile devices that we all have. When you think about the first mobiles that we all had, when we first started to see them on movies, they were like really big, they were like huge, they were like really big bricks. And then we went through this, like, in a way, a really unusual trend, which was we all decided that the only way we wanted to communicate on mobile devices was if we texted each other. And we did it in really short sentences, and we went on this trend of making sure that our mobile devices were as small as possible. We nearly got to the point that our phones, we could barely type anymore, they were so small. But as humans, when it comes to communicating, we're actually not wired that way. We are hardwired to send and receive visual images faster than any other type. And as technology, not only the device, but the underlying access and infrastructure catches up, we see that again in our devices. Our devices are becoming bigger. The content that's being displayed is becoming richer. We're going from photos to videos to movies to TV on demand, all when you want, anytime you want, based on what you like to choose. MIT did a really good study recently. So when you think about options like TV, press, and radio, we've thought for a long time around things like it takes 30 seconds to tell a story. That's not true on mobile. MIT did a study recently. It literally takes 13 milliseconds to process an image, and to process it really well. That's 13 milliseconds. That's all it was. And if we were in a creative workshop right now, we would be sitting down and I'd ask people some questions around what was that image that you saw behind me? People start with it's a camper van. Then they tell me it's blue and white. Then they tell me it's rusty. Then they tell me it's Volkswagen. But you only saw it for 13 milliseconds because as humans, we are hardwired to process images in an incredibly fast way. Instagram is a really good example of this. Instagram grew up on mobile, completely mobile. People only shared, communicated with each other through images, photos, and videos. The human brain processes images 60 times faster than words. That is incredibly important as you think about how you want to share your story on a mobile device to ultimately ring your cash register and do more business. It doesn't take 30 seconds. Actually, a lot of what me and my team spend our time on is how do we help business create that thumb-stopping moment where just in an instant you can grab someone's attention and sell your product, promote your brand, or export your service. 3, content. There is a lot of it. One of the big effects of mobile is that the amount of content that's being created is going up at extraordinary rates. 98% of the world's data has been created within the last 2 years. At any point in time, your story, your content can compete now with content created anytime, anywhere by anyone in the world. But yet, we all have finite attention, we all have finite time. And even though the time is going up around how much we're choosing to consume content, there's a huge amount of competition out there. And mobile is driving huge amounts of content because we all love to create, share, consume content on our mobile devices. The effect of that for you as a business is you need to think about mobile as a highly competitive place to share your story. So you need to think less about what is the feature that I want to tell and I want to broadcast to my audience, but more about what is it that I think might be interesting to my customer. Because on mobile devices, where we're organizing this explosion of content on Facebook and pretty much on all the major apps is through feeds. highly personal, highly relevant, highly timely feeds. So your story is going to compete with stories I deeply care about. Stories about what my brother is up to, what my friend is up to, the best restaurant I should check out, the new pair of runners from a brand I love, the latest piece of news I love. So as you think about your content, you need to think about mobile as a highly competitive place and a highly personal space, and one that you need to put a lot of care and attention into making sure that your story reaches the right people and has the desired effect for your business. So what do all these macro trends mean for me as a business owner, as a startup, as a scale-up, as a brand manager, or someone working in an agency? One, every business needs a mobile strategy. And that's not to say that every business needs to be a mobile business, but every single entrepreneur, business owner, brand manager owner sees what we all do, which is people on their mobile device all the time, waiting for a plane, waiting for a bus, dual screening in front of a TV, and the entrepreneur's mindset kicks off straight away. All my customers are spending all their time on mobile device. How do I reach them? And that is a challenge, and it is a problem for businesses. And our solution in Facebook, and what we spend an awful lot of time on, is pages. Pages are our solution for mobile. It is simple, free, easy to use. It gives you an instantly mobile strategy, irrespective of what device anyone is on, anywhere in the world, be it iOS, Android, desktop, tablet, TV, feature phone, smartphone. Instantly mobile strategy gives you two things. One is presence, and two is the ability to communicate directly with your customers where they are through messaging on mobile. And that's why we invest in a huge amount of time on pages. There's now over 50 million SMEs using pages on Facebook to grow their company, sell more goods, and ultimately employ more people. We've got a lot of feedback from customers around how to make that product even easier, even simpler to use for things like messaging, which is why we've re-engineered and added a lot of new features to allow business owners message and communicate directly with customers where they are, which is on their mobile device. Messaging. I've seen a lot of big trends at Facebook, but I'm truly blown away by how fast the consumer revolution of messaging is happening. People love to message on mobile devices. People love to order that taxi, book a table, buy a pair of runners, figure out where to go for my weekend, all through messaging. Forrester did a really good report recently, and they looked at the average person's smartphone. Average person has about 25 apps. The reality, though, is that about 80% of their time is usually spent on their top 5 most used apps. Globally, when you look at the app market, all of the top apps are messaging apps. 6 of the top 10. That just reflects what I'm saying, which is people love to message. That is going to have a big impact on your business. And I can see some nods heading. I can see some heads nodding. And the nodding heads are probably the ones that are already doing business with their customers on messaging. Your customers will want to message you. They will want to do business where they are on their mobile device through messaging. The depiction behind me, so we often, picture paints 1,000 words, right? Video paints 10,000. The yellow dots behind me are the rise of smartphones, okay? Happening in MENA, over 120 million people now use Facebook. As I said, when you look at smartphones, it took TV 67 years to reach 1 billion people. Smartphones did it in 5. Happening here, in Dubai, in the UAE, in MENA, all over the world. If you are exporting your product and service, all of these yellow dots are your potential customers. The world has got incredibly small when it comes to doing business, doing commerce, and growing your company. And that is why the blue dots behind me are people like you, entrepreneurs, business owners, doing what we have always done, which is follow where people are to do business. And that's what you see behind me, which is the rise in pages. Over 50 million businesses now using pages. That number grows at a staggering rate in MENA, in the UAE, all over the world, following where people are. And here comes the next absolute explosion. You put businesses and people together where they are, they will do what we have always done. And this is a great trading nation, and always has been. They will trade. They will do commerce. Behind me is a depiction of the rise in messaging. Every month, there are now over 2.5 billion comments on pages where people are communicating and doing business directly on mobile devices. Doing what I did this morning, booking my taxi, figuring out, checking out the restaurant I'm going to eat in tonight, planning and convincing my wife that we need to come back to Dubai for another holiday. And finally, personalized storytelling. Mobile, it is a personal space. We are hardwired to expect highly relevant, highly personalized, highly timely content all the time on our feeds. In some respects, every day, the average person on Facebook will log on to newsfeed about 11 to 14 times a day. Over 1 billion people every day. That is over 1 billion individualized, completely different, highly personalized newspapers in the palm of people's hands, with stories from businesses which are a fundamental and integrated experience into Facebook. Which is why, in most markets, on average, 70% of our users are connected with local business. It is an additive experience. But for you as a business, you need to think about that carefully. Know that you're going into personal space, target people, and target them with great stories that are going to grab their attention, create that thumb-stopping moment, and ultimately help you sell your product and grow your company. And when you do that, and you adopt the best practice solutions, which I have to say does not include buying likes. Buying likes is not necessarily going to grow your company or address your business objective, whether that's online sales or increasing your brand. When you adopt our solutions and our best practice and you think about those three things, great things happen. Take, for example, small business here in Dubai, kids venture. They wanted to build a unique creche, one based around an innovative way of educating and at the same time providing creche facilities. Facebook was their sole marketing channel. They think very carefully about the stories that they'd create on Facebook, and they think very carefully about their target market. They find them and they reach them on Facebook, and they're growing their company. One creche set up, another 4 in the pipeline. Facebook is the sole referral of all traffic to their website with a 50% conversion rate of all referrals. Slightly bigger company. You want to export your product and service. Take a company called Halwani Brothers. They have manufacturing facilities in Egypt and Saudi Arabia, and they export their product all over the Middle East and Northern Africa. And they create, cookies, jam, food like that. Recently they came to us, they wanted to relaunch one of their jams and target a female audience. In 6 weeks, only 6 weeks, with a video-driven campaign, they reached over 2.5 million people, over 1 million video views, and at least 5x more reach than they ever thought possible. Or companies like Namshi. You've got an app, you want distribution. They used a lot of our products to drive distribution. But as they thought more and more about the stories that they want to tell, they thought about some of our more advanced products and more of our advanced features. Take, for example, carousel product ads. The concept behind that product is very simple. It allows you to scroll horizontally and essentially replicate that great shopping experience where the joy of shopping is sometimes looking as opposed to shopping, and it's a bit of both. That's what that product is designed to do. It drives phenomenal results. They combine that with some of our very sophisticated targeting solutions like audiences, drove huge results. They drove a 60% reduction in cost per install, because relevant content on Facebook is good for people on Facebook, and it is great for businesses. And a 2.5x increase in the volume of installs. We're delighted to be here. We're building out our team in Dubai all the time. We've got a big booth down below. Any questions that you have over the next 2 days, please come talk to us. The best of luck with your venture. We love working with startups. We love working with businesses large and small. It is a fundamental and integrated experience in Facebook. And